no. Just hard no. Amazon, you are frustratingly inconsistent. Just a month ago, you gave us the terminal list, and now you're gonna push out this shit? Really? Now, Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone looks pretty good. That comes out this month. But Rings of Power also looks like garbage. Why is every streaming service so goddamn inconsistent with their quality? Except for Disney Plus. They just push out a steady stream of shit. I don't think I've ever seen a good Disney Plus original. At all. Movie or show. Minus the MCU shows. Nope. Can't think of one. And again, Netflix is the exact same way. They produce a lot of shitty movies, but every once in a while they'll push out something that's good. Like in June, they pushed out Chicken Hair, which looked like crap, but it ended up being pretty good. And then just in the last couple days, I've reviewed both The Sea Beast and Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which got a resounding meh. Just, I don't know what Amazon's deal is, but they put out some good movies and good shows, and then they push out something that's total shit. Like, the only TV show I've seen of theirs is The Terminal List. I don't watch The Boys, I don't want to watch The Boys, because I know I'm going to hate it, so I'm not even going to bother. Although I did know I was going to hate this going in. And if you saw my Cheaper by the Dozen review, or if you at least saw the title, you know that I shut that movie off after 1 minute. And yeah, I did. This one, I got a bit further. This isn't going to be a regular thing, where if a movie is so bad, I'm going to shut it off after a few minutes, but there are certain movies that I shut off immediately because I know they have an agenda. Zombies 3 tricked me. Well, sort of. It didn't really have an agenda, but it still pushed their bullshit in the last few minutes by shoving it in. Just haphazardly. So, and there are just movies that are bad. But I can still get through them. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a fucking disaster. I was still able to get through it, though. Barely. But I was able to get through it. Chip and Dale, I was able to get through. This one, nope. Just same thing as Cheaper by the Dozen. Just so bad and so transparent in what it's doing that I couldn't even be bothered. After just about 6 minutes or so, I shut this off and me and my brother went to watch Ninja Turtles. Which, yeah, it wasn't great, but at least it didn't have an agenda. All it wanted to do was tell a story. Not a great story, but it still just wanted to tell a story and wrap up this show that got canceled. So I don't have anything wrong with that. So even if your movie's bad, if I don't see any kind of corporate meddling or agenda thrown in, I won't get as angry about it. Because I'll just write out, this was just out of incompetence. Or maybe something happened behind the scenes that made the movie worse, or something like that. Like, even something as bad as Batman v Superman, at least it didn't have an agenda. It was garbage, and everything about it was terrible, and it's still probably the second worst comic book film of all time, just ahead of Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I'll give it credit that there was no agenda being pushed, or even Suicide Squad. That was just studio tampering and well, it was probably going to be bad regardless, but even still, it was just out of incompetence and studio interference and just general stupidity. This one, there's definitely some general stupidity here, don't get me wrong, but... And it's the fact that this stupid-ass writer has no idea how to conceal the fact that they're pushing an agenda. Like, literally, I shut it off when it was the teacher giving a lecture about people, like, if you want to design your video games, it was a stupid speech about strong female characters and gender equality in video games, and it's just, it was so stupid. It doesn't help with the presence of Ruby Rose, who I can't stand, and she's not a very good actress either. And I feel really bad, because I like the lead actress who's in this, Paris Baroque. I think that's how you say it. And the only two movies of hers I've reviewed are Hubie Halloween and this, and they're both awful. Like, I knew exactly what the movie was. I saw the trailer, I knew exactly what it was doing, I knew where it was going to go, I knew how it was going to end up, and I didn't like it. Oh boy, I didn't like where it was going. Not even just that, even if you put aside the agenda that it has, just the dialogue of very little of what I heard, I guess, but even still, it was terrible. Like, I am a second-year college student. College kids don't talk. This isn't how college kids talk. They're talking like high schoolers, not college students. And I'm just gonna say it. Esports do not have a gender equality problem. At least most of them don't. I know the one at my last school didn't. I wasn't part of the esports team because I have a life, and I play real sports. I don't care. I don't care who you are. Esports is not real sports. I love playing video games, but esports are not real sports. It's not a sport. That's something else that pisses me off, is that people act like, oh, esports is this big sport. No, it's not a sport. It's not. People are trying to get esports into the Olympics, and give me a fucking break. But I digress. And it's like the opening credits, like the little scene like within a video game. It was like a minute, but it was a little cool to watch. Honestly, something I would like to see, that would probably be better than this, would be a movie that takes place within a video game. Not something like Wreck-It Ralph or something, but if you want to do something like this, you could at least do something more interesting. Like, maybe do some kind of Dungeons and Dragons thing, but inside a video game. That'd be cool, and then you have, like, the people who are playing the game, you can hear them talking, and make it kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. That would be something that it still wouldn't be a very good movie, but at least it would be something interesting. There's nothing interesting here, not that I could see. And the shot layout is bland. It's not terrible, but it's the bare bone minimum. And like I said, the script was, even just after a few minutes, I could tell is just flat out awful. So, I don't have much more to say about this. I'm giving this an F because, again, if I can't even get a few minutes... something came up on my camera because my battery's low. If I can't get even half an hour... Can't even get 10 minutes into your movie... When I've sat through some of the worst movies, I've sat through what is objectively some of the worst movies ever made, like the Birdemic movies, Manos, Hands of Fate, the 50 Shades movies, the Twilight movies. I can't. No, you don't deserve to get a score higher than the bare minimum when your movie's doing the bare minimum, because if you can't even hide your agenda... You fucked up, and that's why Obi-Wan Kenobi sucked. That's why Andor's gonna suck. That's why all of Disney's corporate bullshit's failing now. That's why Lightyear bombed. Because they do a terrible job of hiding it, people see through their bullshit, and they don't want to see the movie. And this movie has a 2.8 on IMDb, and just to put that in perspective, The Last Airbender has a 4. Let that sink in. So that's all I got for this shit heap, and tomorrow I got some more reviews. I got The Gray Man, which will be the final July movie, and I've also got Prey, that Predator prequel, which is apparently pretty good, and then I'll have a July ranking. So I'll see you all then. Bye.